The journey begins with a question. Long before Google and therapy apps, people climbed mountains for answers. They didn't scroll, they walked. They crossed treacherous lands, bearing offerings in trembling hands, just to stand before one woman, the Oracle of Delphi. She didn't offer solutions in bullet points. She didn't give comfort. What she gave was truth. And often, that truth came wrapped in riddles. But here's what most people forget about the Oracle. She never truly told you what to do. She only reflected what you already knew, but were too afraid to say out loud, just like us. Because in every generation, people look outwards for what they already carry inside. The temple on the mountain. The temple of Apollo stood high on the slopes of Mount Parnassus. It was said that divine vapors rose from the cracks in the earth, placing the Oracle, also known as the Pythia, into trance-like states. From this altered consciousness, she would speak. But again, her power wasn't in knowing everything. It was in piercing through your illusions. When powerful kings and trembling peasants came seeking destiny, she didn't coddle them. She challenged them. Croesus, king of Lydia, asked whether he should go to war. The oracle replied, "If you cross the river, a great empire will fall." He crossed it, and his own empire collapsed. You see, even when we think we've been given the green light, we tend to hear only what we want to hear. Truth only works on those willing to hear it all. You already know. The greatest deception we suffer is believing we don't know what we want. We say, "I'm just confused. I don't know what to do with my life. I need more clarity." But underneath all of it is something else. Something we hide under layers of logic, noise, and fear. Most people don't need direction. They need permission. Permission to leave the job that drains their soul. Permission to love who they love. Permission to rest, to start, to stop. And if we listened, really listened, we'd hear the quiet voice that's been whispering all along. That voice is the Oracle, and it's not in Delphi. It's in you, the voice inside the smoke. Ancient seekers describe the Oracle's words as smoke. Strange, swirling, hard to grasp. That's how our inner voice sounds too at first. Not like a shout, more like a whisper behind the noise. You want to hear it? Then you must do what the seekers did. You must quiet your mind. You must travel within, not across the earth. You must offer your certainty as a sacrifice. And most importantly, you must be willing to receive an answer you might not like. Because the voice doesn't flatter. It doesn't seduce. It tells you what is real. Sometimes the truth is gentle. Sometimes it's devastating. But it always sets you free. The lies that keep you lost. You've probably heard this phrase, trust your gut. But what? If your gut is confused by trauma? What if your instincts have been layered with shame, guilt, and conditioning? Modern life has trained us to outsource everything. We Google instead of wondering. We crowdsource opinions instead of sitting with our emotions. We binge content, hoping something will finally click. But there is no click until you sit with your pain. Until you stare at the question without reaching for an escape. The Oracle didn't give answers to cowards. She didn't reward those looking for shortcuts. She spoke only to those who had done the work of self-confrontation. You don't find clarity by running. You find it by stopping. The sacred mirror. Here's the secret. The Oracle was not magical. She was a mirror. She didn't show people the future. She showed them the present, with brutal honesty. When you look into your own mirror, unfiltered, unafraid, you will see all the parts of yourself. The shadow, the fear, the dream you've buried under practicality. That's the moment clarity begins. When you no longer ask, what's the right path? But instead ask, what truth am I not facing? Most people say they want truth. What they mean is, I want to hear something that doesn't make me uncomfortable. But growth requires discomfort. The Oracle always knew that. Becoming the Oracle. You don't need to climb a mountain. You don't need sacred smoke or golden offerings. You don't need to beg for answers, because you already have them. Every time you sit quietly with yourself, you become the Oracle. Every time you trust your intuition over the opinions of others, you become the Oracle. Every time you stop waiting and start moving, despite the uncertainty, you become the Oracle. The voice inside you is older than your name, older than your wounds. It is ancient, wise, and unshaken by your fear. It knows who you are, beyond roles, beyond identity, beyond failure. It waits, patiently, for you to listen. Your inner temple. Maybe no one ever told you this, so let me be the first. You don't have to chase answers anymore. You are not broken. You are not lost. You are just disconnected from the truth already alive within you. The Oracle of Delphi isn't gone. She just lives somewhere new now. She lives in your pause, in your silence, in your stillness. And when you're ready, you won't need to ask others what your next step is. You'll close your eyes, you'll breathe in, and you'll hear it, clear, quiet, and unmistakable. Know thyself.